Female prisoners exposed, secrets, betrayal, and survival inside the walls. Subscribe for more real crime stories. Like, share, and join the discussion below. The alarm screamed through the prison halls, red lights flashing against the concrete walls. 2 guards were dragging a screaming woman out of cell block D, her orange jumpsuit torn, her hands covered in blood. "She did it. She's the one who told," another inmate shouted from behind the bars. The woman, trembling, kept crying, "I didn't say anything. I swear." But no one believed her. Not the guards. Not the inmates. Not even the ones who once called her sister. That woman was Maya Rodriguez, and this was the night everything inside Greenstone Women's Correctional Facility fell apart. What started as whispers of betrayal had exploded into violence. 3 inmates injured, 1 missing, and rumors spreading that one of the guards had been secretly working with the prisoners. As Maya was dragged down the hallway, she caught a glimpse of Officer Lynn Carter, the guard everyone trusted. But tonight, Lynn's eyes didn't look calm, they looked guilty. And when she turned away quickly, Maya knew the truth was worse than she ever imagined. Something terrible was happening behind those walls, something about secrets, betrayal, and survival. And the question everyone was now asking was, who was really running Greenstone, the guards or the prisoners? A week earlier, things had been almost quiet inside the prison. Greenstone had its share of fights and drama, but most days followed the same routine: morning roll call, work shifts, lunch, and then lights out by 9. Maya had been there for 3 years, serving time for a robbery gone wrong. She mostly kept to herself, staying out of the gang drama that ruled the prison blocks. But lately, strange things had started happening. Packages were showing up in cells that no one claimed. Cigarettes, phones, even makeup, things that were supposed to be impossible to get inside. And then came the rumor that someone was trading secrets with the guards to get favors. One night, Maya's cellmate Tasha Green, a tough woman from Chicago, whispered, "Someone's selling out names. They're giving the guards info about who's hiding what. You better keep your mouth shut, Maya." Maya didn't believe it at first, but a few days later, 3 women from cell block B were transferred out suddenly. No one knew why. Then, a letter was found under Maya's bunk. It wasn't hers. It was a list of names, written in neat handwriting, with small check marks next to them. Her name was one of them. Panicking, she tried to show it to Officer Lynn Carter, the same guard who had always been kind to her. But Lynn's expression changed the moment she saw the note. "Where did you get this?" she asked quietly. Before Maya could answer, Lynn snatched the paper, folded it, and walked away. That was the moment Maya knew something was wrong. Over the next few days, inmates started turning on each other. Friends became enemies. Fights broke out in the cafeteria, and guards pretended not to see. The tension built until one stormy night, when a loud crash echoed through cell block D. Maya rushed to her door just in time to see blood on the floor and a figure running toward the security gate. She couldn't see who it was, but the voice she heard made her freeze. It was Officer Lynn Carter, whispering urgently into her radio. "She knows. We have to handle it tonight." And that was when the lights went out. The entire prison went dark. A heavy silence filled the air for a few seconds, followed by shouts, banging, and the sound of boots rushing down the corridors. Maya stood frozen by her cell door, her heart pounding so hard she could barely breathe. The emergency lights flickered on, bathing the hallway in a dim red glow. Somewhere nearby, someone screamed, "Lockdown. Everyone stay in your cells." A guard's voice boomed over the intercom. But no one was listening. Through the flickering light, Maya saw shadows moving fast across the corridor. One tall, one small. It was hard to tell who they were. But then she heard the metallic sound of a gate being forced open. Moments later, smoke started filling the air. Someone had started a fire in the laundry room. The alarms began to wail again, and the chaos turned real. Inmates were yelling, doors were slamming, and the air was thick with confusion. Maya grabbed the bars of her cell and shouted, "What's happening?" But no one answered. From the cell across the hall, Tasha's voice called out, "It's a setup. Somebody's trying to cover their tracks." Before Maya could respond, Officer Lynn Carter appeared at the far end of the hall. Her uniform was soaked from the sprinklers, her flashlight trembling in her hand. When her eyes landed on Maya's cell, she froze. For a second, neither of them moved. Then, Lynn unlocked Maya's cell. "Come with me," she ordered quietly. Maya hesitated. "Why me?" "Because if you stay here, you won't make it till morning." Every instinct told Maya not to trust her, but the smoke was getting thicker, and the noise was spreading. She followed Lynn through the maze of hallways, past the medical room, and into a restricted wing she'd never seen before. Inside were stacks of boxes labeled confidential, internal affairs. "What is this place?" Maya asked. Lynn locked the door behind them and whispered, "You are right about the list. There's been a network inside this prison for years. Guards, inmates, even the warden. They trade secrets, favors, and silence." Maya's head spun. "So, the names, those were targets?" "More like liabilities," Lynn said grimly. "People who knew too much." Suddenly, they heard footsteps approaching from the other side of the door. Lynn pressed her ear to the metal, her face going pale. "They found us," she whispered. "We have to hide these files." But before Maya could move, the door burst open. 3 figures stepped in, 2 guards and 1 inmate, their faces half hidden by the smoke. The inmate smirked. Well, looks like Officer Carter's little secret is finally out." Lynn raised her hands slowly, trying to calm them down. "We can talk about this." But the other guard aimed his baton at her and shouted, "No talking. Orders from the top." Maya took a step back, her heart racing. She realized that Lynn wasn't part of the system anymore. She was running from it. And then, before anyone could move again, the sound of a gunshot echoed through the room. Everything stopped. One of the guards fell to the floor. Smoke and silence filled the air once more. Maya's hands were shaking as she looked at Lynn. But Lynn wasn't looking at her. She was staring at the person behind Maya. "Run," Lynn whispered. Maya turned slowly and froze when she saw who was holding the gun. It was Tasha Green. Her hands were steady, her face calm, and her fingers still on the trigger. The muzzle of the gun smoked faintly as the echo of the shot died in the distance. Maya couldn't move. She stared at her cellmate, her friend, who now stood with the confidence of someone who had planned this moment for a long time. "Tasha," Maya whispered. "What are you doing?" Tasha smiled slightly, stepping over the fallen guard. "Surviving. That's what we're all doing in here, right?" Officer Lynn Carter slowly raised her hands, her eyes narrowing. "You're part of it, aren't you?" Tasha laughed. "Part of it? Honey, I run it." She pointed the gun toward the boxes marked confidential. "Internal affairs. All those files? They've got everyone's dirt in them. Guards, inmates, even the warden. You think anyone's walking out of here clean?" Maya's stomach turned. Everything suddenly made sense. The transfers, the missing inmates, the planted letter. It had all been part of a setup. Tasha continued, circling them slowly. "They thought they could control me, but I learned the system. I made my own deals. I've got guards in my pocket, officers who owe me favors, and now," she glanced at Lynn, "I've got you two right where I want you." Lynn stepped forward cautiously. "If you shoot us, you'll never make it out alive." "Oh, I'm not the one trying to get out," Tasha said with a smirk. "I just need someone to take the fall." Before anyone could react, the prison sirens roared again. A booming voice came over the loudspeaker. "Code Red. Cell block D-breach. All personnel secure the West Wing immediately." Tasha turned toward the sound, momentarily distracted. Lynn took the chance. She lunged forward, tackling her to the ground. The gun slid across the floor, stopping near Maya's feet. "Grab it," Lynn shouted. Maya bent down, her hands shaking. She pointed the gun at Tasha, who was now struggling beneath Lynn's grip. But Maya couldn't pull the trigger. "I don't want to hurt anyone," she cried. Tasha's eyes darkened. With a quick move, she elbowed Lynn hard in the ribs, rolling free. She grabbed Maya's wrist, forcing the barrel upward. "You're too soft, Maya. That's why they picked you. You were easy to use." The two women struggled, the gun jerking between them. Lynn tried to intervene, but Tasha shoved her against the wall. Papers flew everywhere, names, dates, photos of guards and inmates, secrets that were never supposed to see daylight. Finally, the gun went off again. A single deafening shot echoed through the room. Both women froze. Lynn stood still, her eyes wide. Maya blinked, the gun still warm in her hands. Tasha stumbled backward, clutching her shoulder. "You'll regret this," Tasha hissed, falling to her knees. "You have no idea who you're dealing with." Maya stared at her, trembling. "Who's behind all this? Who's giving the orders?" Tasha gave a weak smile, blood dripping onto the floor. "You think it's just the inmates? You're dumber than I thought." And then she looked past Maya, her expression twisting into something between fear and satisfaction. Standing in the doorway was Warden Evelyn Price, calm, untouched by the chaos, her uniform spotless. She looked at the scene in front of her, the fallen guards, the scattered files, the injured inmate, and said quietly, "I warned you both to stay out of this." Her hand rested calmly on her holster. Lynn whispered, "Oh my God, it's you." The warden smiled faintly. "Close the door, Maya." The click of her gun echoed in the air. And then the lights went out again.